He got enough gold to like one-shot everybody with his R, assuming he had it, but I don't think that was quite the plan.
All right, we are in Champion Select right now. So, we've seen a lot of Yasuo and Aurelia and Heimerdinger bands, so I think they are going to be coming out the same. Ooh, Nico finally off the board.
People have been doing their research. Nico's doing a lot of damage just by herself before we even talk about Syndra or, yes, Ahri. So getting her off the board and making sure that you have a much easier time playing something that you would rather not play against. Yeah, I mean, taking off AP champions, which seems to be the meta right now for 2v2s, is the way to go.
Now, the question is, are we going to see the Aurelia and Heimerdinger ban come through like we've seen in the previous games? They are very aggressive champions. What is this going to be? Looks like it's going to be a Renekton. Very strong champion in the 2v2, looking to stack up that Fury to go in and CC chain you to melt you with the Conqueror proc. Extremely strong champion. Surprised we haven't seen it yet.
I'm not entirely surprised by that, I guess. I mean, unless you cheese by starting with his W, of course, as you might do in the solo lane. It's pretty difficult for Renekton to all-in up until level 3, and until that point, especially on this map, you can get poked out quite a bit, and then you have to use your Fury, use your resources, and it just suddenly doesn't turn out the way you want it to.
So we've seen the Pantheon being banned out, looking like they want to reduce that point-and-click CC, that damage and vulnerability, and the Morgana. Very strong champion with the Dark Binding. Also cannot forget that the pool gives her HP when it hits a target, and also Black Shield being very good at preventing CC from hitting you and just being a strong ability overall.
A rather flexible champion who's normally played in support but can be played in mid and questionably solo.
And looks like the Riven is banned out by Team 9, so what is Team 13 going to play now?
The majority of these bans have been targeted at the solo lanes, so I'm expecting, at least from Team 13, they're going to be picking other solo lane champions as well, I guess, as we've been seeing from the rest.
Orianna and Syndra are both open, and we have seen them. Ooh, we see the Brand, very strong with very annoying poke. Hard to get around. And the Veigar, the ARAM special being hovered right now. Very strong shield, very strong stun field, covers the entire lane, unfun to play against, and looks like they're trying to pick the Sivir to get that extra damage with the W bouncing off the wave. Because it's very clump, very easy to ricochet off and just hit the champions for extra damage.
If there ever has been a meta for 2v2s, I think Brand would be at the top. His ult being able to ricochet off several players is only amplified when there are two people to bounce off of. That means that you're doing the maximum amount of damage on probably the smallest map in the game.
So Team 9 has opted for the Ashe instead. Very strong with the poke on the W. Very good at also revealing champions in the bush for a short while. Ult very strong as well. Managing to CC lock them for a bit, but looks like Team 13 is going to have none of it and going to go for another oppressive lane, looking to bully them out of the HP bars and looking to the Xerath lock-in.
At the moment, I suppose if I had to choose, I'm going to give this game to Veigar and Ashe. I mean, good Veigar players not only try to keep people inside their cage, but are able to keep players outside their cage if they really need to, which is only made better on a small map, where, you know, it's a lot easier to stun somebody, and Ashe with her ultimate is able to set that up really nicely for Veigar against Brand and Xerath, who are probably going to be farming it up until level 6. At the moment, some of the spells we're seeing Ignite, 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 and Shield. I'm not entirely sure about that, just because a lot of these champions are squishy, especially looking at Veigar, who wants to be farming for the majority of the time with his Q. It's not going to be entirely easy to survive against that. If you had 2 ignites on one person, it could spell death.
So the summoner spells seem to have been locked in. We're looking at a double ignite coming in from Team 13. And on Team 9, we're looking in at the ignite and the barrier. Oh no, Xerath's last minute change to the heal. So they're looking for that extra survivability when the CC lock comes in from Team 9.
That's what I was talking about. They kind of need that heal, those 2 glass cannons, right? I mean, you're asking for too much if you're trying to, you know, burst them all down before level 6, which seemed to be their intention if they were going to take 2 ignites. But now taking that heal, it's a lot safer, because now they're relying on the damage that they actually can do, and they're working with the resources which they should naturally have. They're not trying to force anything that is either too difficult to force or can't be forced in the first place. They're playing this a lot more smartly. They're not being too ambitious with what they're doing.
So interestingly, let us not forget that Veigar can theoretically be played as a tank.
What?
Yes, because he stacks AP from his abilities hitting champions, so he doesn't need to buy AP. So what he could do if he's smart is build Spectre's Cowl, the item that gives you healing when you've taken magic damage, seeing that there's a Brandon and a Xerath, and they'll just keep healthy, and every time he lands an ability, he'll be just stacking AP and becoming stronger. Veigar is a very strong tank. When played tank in ARAM, he's very strong because he's just tanky, unkillable, and gets AP for free thanks to his passive.
But I suppose in a 2v2, with the rules that we have, that brings a little bit of risk. I mean, if you're trying to give all the stacks towards the Veigar, that means that Ashe isn't getting these, meaning that looking at this from a two-player perspective, if only one person is able to get the CS and they miss that, then eventually they're going to bring themselves further and further away from winning the CS game, essentially. So for Team 9, it looks like it's really going to depend on that Veigar to do his job, essentially, as stacking. If he really is going to play tank, that's the first time I've seen it, and I would really enjoy to see something as cheesy as that.
I think he might pick Spectre's Cowl. It wouldn't surprise me if he does go for it, because it's strong against Brand's Dot, and it's strong against Xerath. So I personally would have gone for that pick, but that's probably why I'm hard stuck.
Alright, a minute until we go in. I just realized I'm not seeing a great amount of CC on Brand and Xerath's side, and they have a lot of skill shots. That's what I'm thinking of. They have a lot of skill shots which they do need to place because they have somewhat long cooldowns. So just like we saw in the first game, if you miss a charm on Ahri, that spells death for you the one time that you miss. If the same thing happens in Brand and Xerath's case, then, you know, getting stunned by an Ashe ult into a Veigar cage, you literally get blown up. There's no room to make a mistake.
Well, looks like we're going to be entering game very soon. I think for Masteries, we might be seeing Dark Harvest on the Brand or the Xerath. Very good at proccing those from long range. Veigar probably looking for maybe going to go for the Glacial Augment. If he's looking for it, to get the small little slow to land. Because Ashe is there to also land slows to have an easier cage land. Not sure what Ashe is going to go. Maybe Comet for the easy poke coming out from her W.
All I know is build one item on Veigar and just spam Q. Just roll your face over the keyboard and win that 2v2. So whatever item they pick, it's probably going to work out. I mean, I suppose unless you buy 5 health pots, but that's not happening. But, you know, whatever.
Well, looks like we're getting just into game. Looks like we've got Summon Airy on Brand with Comet onto the Xerath. And we've also got Comet on the Veigar with Lethal Tempo coming out on the Ashe.
Ashe double thought her build. She's looking for more sustain at this point with an axe, a cloak, and an extra healing pot. Which, oh no, she has 1 healing pot compared to everyone else who has 2 or 3, meaning that without that heal that they, you know, the other team has, it's going to be a little bit more difficult for her to keep her health topped up.
I mean, she does have the Vamp Scepter, which comes in with the Lifesteal Clutch. She also does have the Nullifying Cloak to reduce some of that magic damage coming in. Looks like we've got Lost Chapter from both Brand and Veigar looking to expend their mana before level up. And we've also got the Xerath with the standard AP item on ARAM.
Already, both teams are looking for blood. We're seeing a little bit of poke here just to butter them up for the all-in at, well, hopefully level 6. Team 13 both hitting level 4 first, but Team 9 won't give them the chance to all-in.
It looks like it's just a very slow and steady push, just as we expected, dishing out as much of their damage as they can with the long-range abilities, trying to poke them down for a favorable 2v2 kill in one clean sweep.
They haven't been ignited yet, but Team 9 is slowly burning. Their health is being whittled down little by little, again getting ready for that all-in. Team 13 pushing them in so that they can't actually get the heals, which they should be able to get. So they should be down 2 heals to 1. Ashe is going to have a really difficult time in this lane trying to poke out just because of how her W works. She can't penetrate through minions unless they've been killed by that W. Whereas Xerath, he's able to use his Q in order to go through minions, like he's done several times, same thing with Brand. So really we're just waiting either for the first bat from both Team 9 and Team 13 to see who's able to all in the other first. At the moment though, if I had to put my money on it, it would be Team 13, just by how the game's looking.
Yeah, they're surely getting poked out Ash getting very low from that. Both of them actually very low. And level 6 might be hit very soon. And as you said, Brand just going to bounce off the two of them if they stay close enough. And then all they need to do is have the Xerath just hit his ultimate just sitting behind.
Already we're seeing the problem that I've been talking about before the game started. First of all, the CS is being given to Ash instead of the Veigar, meaning that he's not really stacking up what he wants to stack. And he's not becoming the champion that he's supposed to be. So essentially they're down at like half a champion.
So very key that they have both hit level 6. Ash looking for her arrow to hit and going for the CC chain with the cage. And also the ultimate from Veigar trying to one-shot the player. But the question is, will Brands be able to dish out enough damage? They are very healthy on Team 13 side, whereas on Team 9 they are struggling.
The Vampiric Scepter is keeping her health topped up though. I mean, Team 13 is giving her room to heal, and it's a little surprising compared to, you know, the kinds of skill shots that they have, you know, being able to go through those minions as opposed to Ash, who isn't able to. I'm surprised that they're giving her space to do any of this, to get her health topped up, to even get the amount of CS that she has at the moment. She has the most CS on top of any of the other champions on this field right now.
So Cage misses, meaning that's a big cooldown missing on Team 9's. If we look quickly at the CS, we see a favorable advantage over to Team 9 actually by just about 1. So not very favorable. Now they've equalized, but looks like CS is going to be collected before it hits the tower. And both of them just keeping kind of steady right now.
Both players from Team 13 have managed to keep their health potions, whereas in Team 9, Ash is down a health potion and Veigar's used just one. She's hemorrhaging now. She only has one item that's able to keep her health topped up, and she has a healing spore behind, but they don't seem to be using it. I guess they're being a little bit more tactical with this.
I think they want to keep their advantage in lane. Looks like the cage comes out. Stand lands onto the Veigar. Looks like the ultimate's going to hit on both of them. Ignite hits and gets the kill onto the Veigar. But now, barrier knocks out. Very low mana on the Xerath. Looking to charge up the Q to walk in and hit them. Very critical that Brand has only expended his Ignite and still has Flash Up. Both of the members on Team 13 have their Flash Up, looking for that spicy engage. Xerath still has his ultimate, waiting for it to poke out the opponent potentially. Maybe not looking to get a kill, but just poke them out.
1 for 1 at the moment. Both mages have backed and they've both bought a Luden's Echo, so it seems that we're not going to be seeing that tank Veigar that we were praying for. Again, Ash still 33 CS, but Veigar only has 9 CS, meaning that he's not getting the stacks that he should be. It looks like as time goes on, Team 9 is going to have a much harder time for winning. Like, Veigar's going to become outscaled if he doesn't start picking up his act.
And the longer they wait, the more Team 9 have a chance of going back in with the combo of the arrow, the cage, and the ultimate. Maybe looking and stalling for that one. Maybe trying to cheese them one last time. But Team 13, very strong HP advantage right now. Mana advantage, not so much on the Xerath, but he could get it back with his passive on minions.
CS is actually quite close right now, but it looks like there's going to be a gap that's going to grow, seeing as how Ash is really low and she still hasn't backed yet. She has used the heal, but she wants to stay out. She does need to protect this Veigar and make sure that if he doesn't get the CS, somebody does.
Ash very low right now, both on health and mana. Probably not going to be able to do a lot. Her ultimate has come up, so one misstep from Team 13 that tanks turret aggro. She will be able to ultimate and get that CC lock under tower. Looks like they're going to be going for that health relic, getting nice and healed up, walking forward. They need to not get hit by any of these abilities.
But
Stage
they will!
Lands, and then it's going to land. Who's going to die first? Looks like the Veigar is burning away.
Take it. Oh, the damage is too much!
And Veigar's ticking. Hasn't died just yet. Walks away with the health pod ticking. But looks like Xerath's waiting for the ultimate. Is he going to hit it? Oh,
and he hits it! 2 for 1.
And Team 13 are victorious and win the 2v2 with that kill.
Oh, that Veigar tried so hard. I mean, I wasn't expecting him to get that first kill that he did.
Very sad. His ultimate was up. He had Ignite up. Maybe not flashing in. Maybe not feeling confident himself. Don't actually know if he had a flash up for that one. But it's GG. And looks like Team 13 takes the victory on this one.
This is a bit of a lesson that we need to learn. If you don't take the heal, you better make sure that you have something else in stock. Because they didn't. They weren't quite prepared, it seems.
where with Team 13's victory, we finished off